Just one more, page 161, difficult to conquer ground, Ten Bodhisattva Grounds. At that time, Vajrayana Bodhisattva, wishing to once again proclaim the meaning of his discourse thereupon, uttered verse saying, the Bodhisattva who has achieved the fourth ground's purification with equal dispositions contemplates the Buddhas of the three times, perceives the mind radiance of doubt, what is and is not the path, and through such contemplation enters the fifth ground. Recitations of mindfulness and balls as ball, sharpness as of roots as arrows, the driving force as steed, the base of psychic powers as his chariot, the five powers as his third shield. He crushes hostile adversaries, with unretreating heroic valor he enters the fifth ground. With sense of shame and blame of his robes, limbs of body as garland, pure moral precepts as incense, Dhyana meditation as perfume, wisdom and skillful means as marvelous adornments, he enters the Dharani forest and Samadhi gardens, with psychic powers as his feet, his right mindfulness as his neck, kindness and compassion as his eyes, and wisdom as his teeth. With the roar of the non-self, the lion among men, crushes the affliction of adversaries, and then enters the fifth ground. The Bodhisattva dwelling in this fifth ground increases cultivation of the most supreme and pure path, is irreversible in his determined quest for the Buddha's Dharma, and tireless in contemplative mindfulness of kindness and compassion. He gathers supreme qualities of merit and wisdom, possesses energetic diligence and skillful means contemplates higher grounds. He is aided by Buddha's powers and bodies, mindfulness and wisdom, and utterly knows all four truths in accordance with reality. He knows well worldly truth, the truth of supreme meaning, the truth of the characteristic signs, the distinctions, establishment, the truths of phenomena, production, cessation, the path, and so on up to the truth of what for the target is unimpeded. Although such contemplation of truth is subtle and marvelous, he has not yet realized the unimpeded supreme liberation. In this way, he is able to generate great merit to his qualities, and therefore steps entirely beyond the sphere of worldly wisdom. Having contemplated these truths, he realized conditioned existence, by its very nature, is false, deceptive, and devoid of solid reality. He acquires the Buddha's radiant aspects of kindness and pity, and seeks Buddha's knowledge in order to benefit beings. He contemplates prior and later periods in conditioned existence, as beset by the darkness of ignorance, as bound by bonds of craving, by which one flows onward cyclically, abiding in the minds of suffering, wherein there is no self, no person, no entity with a lifespan. Craving and grasping are causes of the receiving future suffering, that is, if one wished to seek its end, one could never find it. Confused by the faults, they float on, never going against the flow. Beings such as these are so pitiable. I should see to their liberation. In the house of aggregates, snakes of sensory realms, arrows of views, the mind's flames blaze fiercely in delusions darkness and heavy. They drift and swirl in love's river, with no leisure to contemplate it in breath of a brilliant kind. Sink in the sea of suffering waters. Having realized such things as this, he becomes diligent in vigor and dedicates all of his actions to liberation of beings. He becomes one possessed of mindfulness, possessed of wisdom, and so on, up to his becoming one aware of the means of liberation. He is insatiable in his cultivation of merit and wisdom, tireless in his reverence for extensive learning, and pursues the adornment of all ends, the major marks, the signs. All such deeds are done for the sake of beings, for the sake of teaching everyone in the world. He knows all well methods of writing, mathematics, printing, and such. Also well understands medicine and prescriptions, the treatment of many diseases, all of which he can cure. Is marvelously skilled in literary composition, songs, and dances. His secure placement of all palaces, homes, parks, and bonds shows others all locations of hidden jewels of not just a single sort, and does all of this for the sake of benefiting countless beings. He interprets the omens of the sun, moon, stars, earthquakes, and the other things. Such things includes even people's physical features, and in order to be on benefit to the world, reveals for them the four dhyanas, the forms of absorption and spiritual super knowledge. Those wise one who dwell on difficult to conquer ground make reference to Nayutas of Buddhas and listen to their Dharma. Hence, just as when one uses a marvelous jewel to polish real gold, all of the root of goodness shine even ever more brightly in their purity. Just as the stars and constellations reside in space supported by wind-like forces, are not shaken out of place, and just as the blooming lotus is not attached to its waters, so does this great eminence travel along in the world. Dwelling herein, he often becomes a to-having king, well able to utterly refute the wrong views of non-Buddhist paths. The goodness he cultivates dawns to acquire the Buddha's wisdom, and he revolves to acquire the 10 powers to thereby rescue beings. He redoubles his cultivations of great vigor, and so straightway make offerings to 1,000 of coties of Buddhas, gains absorption, shakes lands just as numerous as they are, and throw off powers of vows, surpasses even such numbers as these. Thus is that, using the power of all different sorts of skillful means, this difficult to conquer ground, the fifth ground, within the most supreme and genuine of all paths for humans, has been explained by me for the sons of Buddha. Just one more, page 165.